Welcome inside Tennessee Smokies baseball. This is Trax, and I am your tour guide in this stadium. My name is Charlie Walter. Today we have an extra special show. Kyle Hendricks joins the program. He talks to Mick Gillespie when he was on his rehab start for the Cubs. We also get a ballpark tour in Chattanooga and a ballpark tour of this stadium presented by the Rally Ring. That and much more coming up right now on Trax.
Welcome to Smokies Stadium, where the Chicago Cubs stars of tomorrow are born. This stadium, past heroes, are baseball's present champions. In this house, when your name is called, you step up.
Schwarber with an RBI hit. He looks up, so long. Chris Bryant, just like Javier Baez a year ago. A home run in his first Double-A at bat. Swing, fly ball, deep left field. This one's got a chance if it's fair. Way back there, so long. Ball game over. Smokies win. What do you say?
This house is witness to historic performances.
Jokic no hits the Suns tonight.
In the outfield.
Oh my, what a grab.
And on the base pass. In this stadium, we play until the final out.
Swing, there's a line drive, base hit, and the Smokies score 8 times, and they stun the Braves. They were down 7-0 going into the bottom of the ninth.
This is America's friendliest ballpark. For the next 30 minutes, we're giving you the best seat in the house. Trax starts right now as we bring you inside Tennessee Smokies baseball.
How's it going, everyone? We are at the end of a 9-game homestand right now, the longest remaining homestand of the season, but you can still catch Smokies baseball tomorrow in action against the Mobile Bay Bears before the Smokies hit the road. Head down to Jacksonville for the first of a 5-game set with the Jumbo Shrimp beginning on Wednesday. But before we look ahead to the future, let's look back at what a great 9-game homestand it was, and it started with the fact that we learned Kyle Hendricks, Chicago Cubs ace and ERA leader, would be in town. And when I say he's the ERA leader, I mean that in 2016, when the Cubs won the World Championship, he had the best earned run average in the entire big leagues. And he did that as well at Smokies Stadium back in 2013 when he had a stint with this Tennessee squad. Hendricks went 10-3 with a 1.85 ERA. He was fantastic in his rehab start, not only on the field, but off the field. He was signing autographs for everyone he saw. The fans loved the fact that Hendricks was in town. And then on the field, he did some damage as well. He pitched 3 1/3 innings of 1-run baseball. After the game, Kyle was kind enough to talk to all the media that wanted a word from him. He talked to our own Mick Gillespie about what it meant to be a Smoky for the day.
Welcome back in the Trax with Cubs star and former Smokies star, Kyle Hendricks. I know you don't want to be here right now, but at the same time, I know it's also enjoyable to come back to where kind of things got going for you in the Cubs organization.
Exactly. You know, it's disappointing to get hurt anytime you're having an injury, but then when they told me I was coming back here to Tennessee, just got me back into a lot of memories. You know, even driving up here today. Had a great season here, met some great friends that I'm still even playing with. So yeah, I was really looking forward to coming back here, and it didn't disappoint. Had a lot of fun. Yeah,
when you were with the Smokies the first time, you had just been traded by the Rangers, and this was like your first full season with the Cubs. And at that point, I guess there were a lot of people that didn't see you being the ace that you are now.
Yeah, I've always been kind of under the radar guy. You know, even coming out of high school, college, and like you said, even through the minors. That's just kind of been my MO, and I've taken advantage of it, thankfully. But when I was here, I had some good coaches really that worked with me, and I was able just to zone in and focus on the task at hand and what I needed to do. And I think I really improved in the season I had here, just with the coaching staff and being among the guys, really talking pitching with the players that we had here. So it was a big year for me, developmentally wise, and you know, obviously catapulted me to where I am now.
I'll say one thing that I noticed of your time with the Smokies is your ability to assess the game, watch hitters even when you're charting, pay attention from the dugout, and see what hitters are able to do, and then use that in the game to help yourself. And you actually won the Southern League ERA title, and you did the same thing in the major leagues last year.
Yeah, actually, with the video and reading swings and all that, that's kind of started here for me. Part of my development. Before this, I hadn't really looked at hitters, you know, reading swings, any of that stuff. But I had some good coaches here that pointed it out to me, started watching video here, and I think that's something I still use today. Even in the big leagues, I use it a lot, and it's a big part of my success. So, yeah, you know, winning that ERA title here was a lot of fun, but there was a lot more behind the scenes that I still use today that definitely helped that.
Last year, Cubs won the World Series. We all know by now the first World Series in 108 years, but it has to have changed your life. I mean, it just seems like the celebration has gone on everywhere, even here in Tennessee.
It has, man. It's crazy. Everywhere you go, even when I'm coming to the ballpark here today. You know, I would never expect to get these kind of ovations or people waiting for me. Just a couple years ago, I was every other guy coming into this ballpark. You know, things have definitely changed, and I think a lot of us are still getting used to it.
You pitched Game 6 of the NLCS. That got the Cubs to the World Series. I'm sure there were some nerves going into getting the call on that day, which, remember, at that point, Game 6 is where, in 2003, the Cubs didn't make it, you know, and they had been so close all those different times. What was that day like, and what do you remember about that?
Yeah, there's always a little bit of nerves and anxiety, I think. But you almost take it as a positive. You know, you tell yourself you're excited. It's a good opportunity, a good situation to be in, somewhere you want to be. And for us, the guys on the team, we hadn't been there, you know, in the past, especially in 03. So we really didn't know what was going on. We were there just playing the game. I think you could see that just from watching us play. And that game was obviously pretty epic. I just almost from pitch one to when I came out, it was like a flash, you know, just one of those games for me where I had everything working.
Here in East Tennessee, Game 7 of the World Series, one of the most watched sporting events. I mean, you're in college football country. You started that game, too. When you were playing in 2013, you probably never could have imagined that here you were on the biggest stage in the biggest game in one of the greatest games ever played.
Yeah, you know, that's something you dream of as a kid. You're out in the backfields with your friends. That's the moment you're talking about, Game 7 of the World Series. And looking forward, after I pitched Game 3, I knew I'd be lined up for Game 7 if we got there. The boys did what they had to do to get us from 3-1 to tie it up. And from there, obviously, it was just a crazy Game 7, one of the best for the record books. And back and forth, but the way our team, the resiliency we showed, kind of the team camaraderie, that's what we're going to get back into for this year, I think.
No doubt about it. Well, my last question for you is, now that you're kind of, I hate to call you a veteran because that makes me feel old, but kind of a veteran guy because you've been through all these different wars and you're a World Series champion, right? What do you say to these young players here in Tennessee and during spring training when now you're the guy that the kids are coming up to and saying, hey, how do you do this? What are you doing there?
Yeah, the biggest piece of advice I have is, you know, you can't look too far ahead. You know, everybody wants to get to the big leagues. That's your goal. But for me, it was how do you get there? It's day in and day out, the work you put in. You got to come in every single day to the ballpark and get something out of it. Know the work you got to put in. For me, that was learning how to watch video, learning how to read swings, getting my throwing in, my workouts, anything. You got to take advantage of every single day because it's so competitive in this sport. You know, somebody's going to outwork you if you don't.
With Kyle Hendricks, I'm Mick Gillespie. Now back to Charlie.
America's favorite tour guide, Mick Gillespie, is on the other side of this break taking a look at AT&T Field in Chattanooga. Mick in the mountains, next on the show.
Welcome to AT&T Field here in downtown Chattanooga and home of the Chattanooga Lookouts. It's time for our ballpark tour. This stadium is right on the banks of the Tennessee River. There's a riverfront that's adjacent to the stadium. There are a lot of historical markers around the stadium. It's built on Cameron Hill, which was a historical site and also a strategic landing point during the Civil War. This stadium's really cool. It was built back in 2000, the same year that Smokies Park was built. And as we take you through the stadium, you'll see a lot of different nooks and crannies with the design of the outfield wall. Also, some of the cool beer areas, including the beer garden, which is over top of the batting cage in left field. And then in right field, one of the best views in the whole stadium isn't of the park, but it's of the river from the pavilion, which is 16 feet above the outfield wall. When you walk right out of the press box, you've got an awesome view of downtown, which includes all the high-rise buildings and the different aquariums and scenic points here in this city. One of the other cool features of this stadium is next to the pavilion in right field is the Chattanooga choo-choo train. And there's a track that you can't see from the seats, but when the Lookouts hit a home run, the train comes out. Since the Lookouts moved from Ingalls Stadium to downtown and here at AT&T Field, they've had 3 different affiliates. They started out with the Cincinnati Reds, and the Reds had some tremendous players on those teams, included Joey Votto, Homer Bailey, Adam Dunn. Then they went to the LA Dodgers with players like Jock Peterson, Yasiel Puig, Justin Turner, even Clayton Kershaw pitched for the Lookouts. And now they're a Minnesota Twins affiliate, and Chattanooga finally won a Southern League championship, their first one since 1989, as a Twins affiliate 2 years ago.
One of the other unique parts about this stadium, and you would expect that from a team named the Lookouts after Lookout Mountain, is the view of all the mountain ranges here. The best part about coming to Chattanooga from Knoxville is it's a short ride, only an hour and a half from downtown Knoxville, 2 hours from Smokies Stadium. So if you want to catch the team on the road, an easy spot to do that is right here in Chattanooga at AT&T Field. That's all for us. Now back to you, Charlie.
So now we've seen half of the Southern League ballparks, but we haven't really taken an in-depth look at our own ballpark. And who better to help us with that than our very own Rally Ranger? Take it away, big guy.
Hello, I'm the Rally Ranger, and welcome to my crib. Let's go look at it. As you can tell, this is the reception hall of my great crib where Talina here, she wards off all my stalkers and just greets all my guests and celebrities. Now we go into the clubhouse shop where anyone can buy my wardrobe, all my designs that I made. Now let's go to my call center. Right now, all these people are taking calls from all my fans all around the world. It's literally millions a day. I'm just a really loved guy here in Kodak and around the world. Now you see where all my fans call in. Let's go to the backyard. Isn't she pretty? Nice batting cages to go with it. A lot of fun things to ride on. Just beautiful sky. I love the big tree in the middle. This is just one of the places I love to relax and just, you know, it's taking good baseball. It's baseball heaven here. Behind me is also one of my rides. My boy Stefan is mowing my grass right now, just making it look nice and pretty. I like the straight lines he does. Man, I got some neat rides and we'll show you later. Now it's time to take my private elevator all the way up. Of course, with all my fans, there's a lot of stalkers out there, so I have a private security system to get through my doors into my main office. As you can see, our fridge. Best part about this, not one, but 2 microwaves. Now you see my kitchen, let's go to the bar. VIP for me. This is our wonderful bar area, stocked with lots of adult beverages, some of my favorite. It's just a great place to just hang out with your best friends, kick out Skeeter, and just enjoy a nice cold one. This is one of my favorite places. This is where the magic happens. Take 2. This is where the magic happens. Now that you've seen where the magic happens, let's go to where it gets me there. This right here is my custom Mercury. Definitely with the W flag. It just makes it for the perfect car, perfect ride. It gets 0.7 miles to the gallon. It's brilliant, I love it. These rims are stocked with the best aluminum ever found in Kodak, Tennessee. So it's pretty good quality. You know what you're getting. I love these tires. Smooth ride. Now that you see my crib, it's time for you to get out, all right? Let's go, come on, let's go. Get out, come on, let's get out. Bye, see ya.
Funniest teammate?
Funniest teammate? I like to think I'm pretty funny sometimes going around. But we got some jokesters on the team. Charcer tries to be, a jokester. He's a prankster running around. Gardner, those guys together, they like throwing, cold water on some guys in the shower, stuff like that. So they like to think they're kind of funny.
Loudest teammate talks the most?
Wow, that's easy. Dowry Torres, by far. Not only does he talk the loudest, but I think he talks the fastest. Like half the time you can't even understand half the stuff he's saying.
Most power in warm-ups?
Most power in warm-ups. Again, I like to hope, I have a decent amount of power, but Vossler's got some pop in his bat. He's leading the team in home runs, I think. Ballard, he's another big dude. can put one out on command. So we got some guys on the team that are pretty big that put on some shows in BP.
Something really random about a guy that you wouldn't know, whether it be a special talent or a skill.
You might not know by looking at him, but Trey Martin loves to read. I mean, past couple road trips, he's sitting in there on the bus late at night with his nightlight on just reading. I don't even know what he's reading, but I didn't even take him as much of a reader. But as of late, he's hitting those books pretty hard.
Smartest player on the team.
Smartest player. I'd probably be a tie between Preston Morrison and Andrew Ely. They're always together doing Sudoku puzzles and crosswords and sitting at coffee shops and doing all that. So I think they like to keep their brains pretty healthy. They're always doing those mind busters and whatever those are.
Best hair on the team.
Best hair on the team. Berg had some flow going for a while before he cut it, but I mean, Hedges had that luscious lettuce that just went forever. I mean, it was pretty impressive he got it to get that long. He's always running around with the headband on and the nice flow in the beard, so I think Hedges took it.
Does anyone beat Terry Clark's facial hair?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, I think TC's had that mustache since birth. I mean, we've gone back and looked at old cards and old pictures, and he's had that same power stash. So I think that's pretty impressive. I mean, just to be able to grow that in itself is impressive, and I'm in awe of it.
I'm Mick Gillespie with Preston Morrison, Smokies pitcher. It's time for our Play Like a Pro segment. You guys work so hard as pitchers to stay in shape, to stretch, and there's a lot more to pitching than just going out on the mound and working. Take us through a routine that you have that helps you kind of stay consistent.
Right. So one of the big things with pitching is repeating that good, long and strong arm stroke. And at the beginning of my catch play session, I like to do this drill. Get real wide with the feet. Make sure your hips are square to your target. And you're just going to go through your normal upper body motion. We want to hit these checkpoints where your elbow or your glove, whichever you use to go down range, is in line with your target. And then as we come through and throw, we want to make sure we reach out. So when we finish, our shoulders should be, this back shoulder right here should be over our feet and past our feet. If we're standing up tall, the ball is going to stay up, and we're not going to have that good long and strong arm stroke. So it should look something like this, except with a ball. And you can usually do it at about 20, 30 feet, but I also like to end with it as well. I'm a guy that throws a lot of off-speed stuff, so I can work that with my sliders and my change-ups. So it's a great way to make sure you keep that consistent arm stroke.
So you talk about you throw a lot of off-speed stuff. You got to be consistent, and then the other part of this is that you have to disguise your pitches. You don't want to give any kind of pointers or tips to the hitters and let them know what you're throwing before you do it. Does that help with kind of disguising your pitches and staying consistent?
Definitely, because you can feel after you throw every one, you check and see, is my shoulder in the right spot? Did I get through that pitch? Because sometimes on a curveball, you have the tendency to stand up and just kind of flip the ball. You really want to get your shoulder and get your upper body into it to where you're reaching out. Because it not only helps disguise it, but it actually makes the pitch deeper and sometimes harder.
All right, great lesson from Preston Morrison, Smokies pitcher. I'm Mick Gillespie. That was Play Like a Pro. Now we'll send it back up to Charlie.
And with that, this week's episode of Bear Trax has concluded. And can you believe that we only have 3 more episodes remaining? We'll do it again next week, same place, same time, 11 o'clock, Sunday night here on Fox 43. Thank you so much for your continued support of Bear Trax. If you'd like to check out past archived episodes, go on SmokiesBaseball.com or our YouTube page. Just type in Bear Trax or Tennessee Smokies Baseball. It's really easy to find right there for your viewership. Thank you so much. Have a great night.